A lot of people are wishing, but they call it hope. That's not the solution. Sometimes, maybe the solution is found by asking somebody else, what do you think is the solution? From New Life Ministries, this is Going Deeper with Stephen Arterburn. I'm Stephen Arterburn. And Going Deeper is all about taking the tough issues, the hard issues of life, looking a little bit deeper inside so that we can gain some insight into our lives. Hi, Steve Arterburn here. Thanks for joining me for Going Deeper. This is our last installment in our Problems with Love series. I hope in the previous editions of this that you find something to work on that would improve loving other people and being loved by them. Well, today it's the fifth in our problem with love, and it came right from my wife. I forget the issue, and I forget how it all ended up, but I'll never forget this. She looked up at me and she said, "Steve, the problem is your solution." Wow. So we're going to talk about, is your solution to the problem the problem? Now, I want to read you a story out of the Bible most people are familiar with, where somebody picked the wrong solution and it became a really big problem. So this is right out of Genesis 20, 1 through 4. Abraham moved south to the Negev and lived for a while between Kadesh and Shur. And then he moved to Gerar, and while living there, he was a foreigner. Abraham introduced his wife Sarah by saying, "She is my sister." So King Abimelech of Gerar sent for Sarah and had her brought to him at his palace. But that night, God came to Abimelech in a dream and told him, "You are a dead man, for that woman you have taken is already married." But Abimelech had not slept with her yet, so he said, "Lord, will you destroy an innocent nation? Didn't Abraham tell me she is my sister?" And she herself said, "Yes, he is my brother. I acted in complete innocence. My hands are clean." Lying is never the solution. When we lie, we are trying to control the outcome. It's kind of the opposite of trusting God with everything. Sometimes when there's a problem, we escalate, we react, and we start talking louder, and it gets worse. And I can tell you, that isn't a very good solution. Sometimes we start defending ourselves when an issue comes up, or we start explaining ourselves, and that is not a very good solution. Sometimes we just shut down altogether and want to avoid the issue. We don't want to talk about it, and we just shut everyone up. That, in that instance, is where the solution is the problem. Now, sometimes the other person has the problem. And what do? Well, we comply with them. What they want is unreasonable, but, we hate conflict, so we just comply. What a horrible thing when it's not right. Or maybe our job we think is just to pacify the other person, and so we try to calm them down. But nothing ever gets resolved. A lot of people think that trying harder, the same old way, over and over again, is the solution. But trying harder just makes trying harder. Some people think talking is the solution, and so they just talk. They say all sorts of stuff. Talk about what they're going to do, but they never do it. Some, they get real spiritual. Boy, I'll tell you, I see that problem, and me and God and my Bible and prayer. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. But most people that have a problem that has to be confronted, they're going to need other people. They can't stay in the privacy of it's just between them and God. Others, they know there's a problem, and their solution is to wait, but they say they're hoping on the Lord. There's no evidence that they should hope on the Lord. There's nothing happening. For instance, I've heard people say, I put my hope in God that He's going to come back. Now, He's already living with somebody else and they've had 3 children, but she's still waiting and hoping. You know what that really is? It's not hoping in God. It's an unrealistic wish or expectation. A lot of people are wishing, but they call it hope. That's not the solution. Sometimes, maybe the solution is found by asking somebody else, what do you think is the solution? Maybe it's the person that you're having a problem with. Maybe it's the person you're in love with. Maybe it's a counselor who has specialized in helping people resolve issues of love. So, if you think just maybe, like old Abraham, who was afraid, so afraid that you could call that prostituting his wife, he picked a really crummy solution. If you're like him, maybe you can choose a different path next time there's a conflict to be resolved. Now, let's say that you're married and you've listened to this. I would hope and pray that you, if you needed it and you want to go further, that you would join us at New Life for Intimacy in Marriage. It's our workshop experience that I do with Milan and Kay Yurkovich, and it has transformed so many marriages. One of the best things that we did. If you're single, I would hope that you'd get a copy of this little book, Is This the One? Because it lays out what to do in dating to be sure this is the right one. Even helps you find the right one. And I think it can cause a lot of joy and happiness and prevent a lot of sadness and sorrow. Well, until next time, thanks for joining me here on Going Deeper, and I hope I will see you right here next time. Thank you for joining me for Going Deeper. I hope something I've said may have helped just a little bit. If you have a question you'd like me to answer or comment, just email me at stevesocial@newlife.com. I'll see you next time.
If you want to support Going Deeper with Stephen Arterburn, be sure to subscribe so you never miss another episode. And if you know someone who would benefit from this episode, be sure to share it with them. See you on the next Going Deeper with Stephen Arterburn from New Life Ministries.